It is October 19th, 2019. We're here at 2772 Angell Avenue in San Diego, California, 92122. Another camera inspection was done previously by another company, but we're going to go ahead and try to inspect the remaining lines. The first thing we see here, of course, right outside the kitchen, we have a 2-inch ABS clean out. You can see some notch marks there, so it's certainly been snaked before. It's going to be typical with any kitchen line. A bunch of cobwebs here. We don't know if this is going to convert into cast iron or not. We're going to push in a little bit. We do have a small camera here. This is not self-leveling. I'm going to pull back a little bit there. You can see just that little bit of debris that's blocking our camera lens. There we go. We're back inside here. We may have to run water. Sometimes a lot of food and grease and buildup will get in the way of getting a clear camera inspection, but we'll see how far we can go without running water first. So just typical buildup in here, nothing too severe actually. This is all 2-inch ABS plastic so far. Here we have a T-Junction. We know right inside, as you're coming into the house, to the left of the kitchen is a little bar sink. So this is definitely where the little bar sink dumps into this line. They become one. Okay, and then you can see here, this is going back into cast iron. So at some point in time, this must have been replaced. So now we have the original cast iron. Now we have our T-Junction right here. We have not checked where the laundry is. We assume that's probably in the garage area, so this could be where the laundry also is dumping into the system. And it also appears we're probably going into a bigger pipe here. So we're just going to continue to push with this camera right now while we have this one in and see if there's any issues with the line. Nothing so far. There's a little bit of debris in our lens here. So we're going to go ahead and pause for 1 minute here while we go ahead and run some water down the drain. Okay, so we shut the water off from the bar sink that we had running. We did confirm that the laundry is in the garage, and there's actually a clean out for that as well. So we'll go in through that part of the system, see if we can confirm that it's all cast iron and it's still in good condition. So we may go ahead and swap out cameras here. We'll see if we can keep pushing down this one here just to confirm the rest of the system. Not finding any problems here so far. Everything looks good. Everything's intact. No roots. Just a little bit of debris caked up on the bottom there. It's going to be typical, but everything else is good on the sewer pipe here, drain pipe. Okay, here we have turn on the line. A little bit of debris right there at this turn. We'll have to come back and check that. So what we're going to do is we've gone out almost 50 feet, as you can see here already. So we're probably getting close to the other bathroom. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in a larger camera and go ahead and also get another camera in from the laundry as well as the hall bath toilet that was not inspected. So we're going to pause the video to pull back. Okay, so we were back to the kitchen clean out here, and we have a little bit larger camera that's also self-leveling. So we're going to go ahead and re-inspect this really quick here to get out a little bit further and confirm some of the debris we saw at the last turn junction. So again, this is all newer 2-inch ABS plastic. T-junction there. Here's going back into cast iron, and right here is where we have the T-junction. This should be picking up the laundry, and we'll confirm that. We will actually put another camera in for the laundry while we leave this one inside. So I'm going to push through this. Turn here. Everything still looks good on the system. Fly there. Just buildup being scraped from our previous camera, but everything still looks good here on this part of the system. Okay, so here's where we wanted to confirm what we had going on. So yeah, here we can see right here at this little junction, at this turn, we have little tiny roots getting in the system right here. So we'll locate where this turn is on this. This is probably getting very close to where it dumps into the main sewer for the hall bathroom, and then eventually the master bathroom to head out. So I'm going to push through that. Here we have a T-junction right here. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pause the video. We want to go ahead and confirm if this is the lavatory sink or the tub tie-in from the hall bath. Okay, so we have water running through the hall bath. There's a his and hers lavatory sink, and actually, as we back up, it's actually coming back at this turn fitting that we couldn't really see to the right here. So you can see that's actually where the lavatory is dumping into the system right there. So as we back up again a little bit further, I'm going to go ahead and just confirm everything looks clean in this line. So until we get to that bathroom, right at this T-fitting, that's where we had that little bit of tiny debris in the system right there in the bottom left. The water's actually kind of rolling over it there. So that's been slightly compromised. So that's where the lav is dumping in. We're going to go ahead and pause the video. Okay, so we've shut off the lav and we have the tub running. So this T-junction right here is probably from the toilet, because as we push forward here, come up to some water in the pipe here, and this is probably where the tubs, there we go. There's the tub and the hall bath that we had dumping into the system. So that's the bathtub draining in at that T-junction. So we're now going to go ahead and pull back, and we'll go ahead and verify that this, oops, let me pull forward here, little possible tiny root on the left hand side there, but overall this pipe here is mostly intact. We have that tiny few possibly dangly roots dumping in. The junction there maybe, just confirming. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pause the video and get the toilet flushed on this hall bathroom. Okay, so we are having the real estate agent flush the toilet, and as you can see, we don't have anything dumping in right there. So we're going to push forward here a little bit further. Okay, so we did not see anything come by the line there. So the way that toilet's dumping in, oh, here we go. Here's where it's coming in from the system. Okay. So it actually appears that this is all a smaller 2-inch pipe possibly that we're in the whole way. And there we go. There's the bigger pipe. So it does appear that this is all smaller 2-inch. It was not any part of the main system. So this 2-inch part of the system here, I'm going to pull back here again one more time. So I'm not sure what this T-junction is picking up right here. So we're going to go ahead and pause the video one more time. Okay, so we've re-inspected inside the house and we do not see any other bar sinks or anything else that was added on. So I'm not sure what this original junction was right here on this 2-inch. If it was another T-junction, they were going to add something or did some kind of test plug. I'm not really sure. But anyway, this 2-inch line goes all the way over to here where there's a turn where we just showed the toilet dumping in. So here's where it's now going into the main sewer. So So you can see right here, when I back up just a little bit, that's where the toilet is running across. So from the hall bath, this is where the main sewer begins, and then this is eventually going to dump and tie into the other branch from the other bathroom. So let's see if we can push through this. We are going to go and inspect from the rooftop through to this part of the main. We have another camera in the toilet of the hall bath, but it would only get through so many fittings, not all the way into this part of the system here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull back the camera here just to the edge of the T-junction here, where that toilet is going into the system, which is right here. So there's the water still trickling into the system. We're going to leave our camera here in the beginning part of the T-junction. We're now going to go ahead, and while we're leaving this push rod and camera in the system, we're going to move over to the laundry and then the hall bath toilet here, which is right at this T-junction, to show the rest of the system before we continue out to the rest of the main sewer. Okay, so we're now here in the garage next to the laundry, and there was a 2-inch clean out, the gym cap over the top of that. So we have another very small 5/8" camera here that we're going to put through this laundry, because we have our other smaller one also inside the toilet right now. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and inspect this 2-inch laundry line, just to confirm that the cast iron is intact or if it's been repaired, as well as see where it does tie in, which is right here. So you can see it's a very short run, which we expected, because as you go across the kitchen, after it picks up that bar sink, then here's the liner. So here's our other orange push rod from our other camera. So we can see that's all the line we've inspected. So we just wanted to confirm that this was intact, and it is fine and does not require any repair, maintenance, or anything at this time. So just pulling back here on this laundry. And so everything is okay for the laundry line here. So I'm now going to go ahead and pause and move over to the hall bath toilet. Okay, so right now we're looking at the sewer line for the hall bath toilet. While we were inspecting the kitchen, we had pushed this through the bowl to see if we could get all the way to where it tees into the main, but there's quite a few turns, so we couldn't. But we do want to show every part of the system, so we're going to pull this back slowly and show. So you can see we have a turn fitting right there as we're backing up with this camera. That's probably right where it pretty much dumps into the main sewer that our other camera was at that T-junction trying to come across right in front of it. So we're just going to show this line that it's all good and intact and there's no issues. So that's that little turn right there. And we're coming back through the china white porcelain bowl already, so you can see. So they're only able to get a few feet into the cast iron, but it is fine and it's not a problem. The rest of it will be viewed from the roof vent, which we're going to head to now. So again, this is the hall bath. So we're now going to go ahead and pause and show the rest of this toilet's sewer line by going up through the roof vent. Okay, so you can see we're now here on the rooftop, and we're above the vent here for the hall bathroom. So this should lead directly into the main sewer for that toilet. So we have a bunch of cobwebs in the system here. We're just going to have to run our pipe all the way down really quick. We're going to go ahead and maybe pull that up to get those wiped off. Let's see. It looks like we got them kind of drug off from just getting down into the main. So here we're crossing into the main, and you can see our other camera. So again, this is where the other toilet is dumping into the system we talked about at that T-junction. There's where we left the camera that came all the way from the kitchen. That is essentially went through the kitchen, picked up the bar sink, the laundry, then picked up the 2 lavatory sink for this bathroom, and then the tub. So this is now the beginning of the main sewer. So you can see it was right behind our camera, literally. We didn't know if it was a longer distance, so we wanted to make sure we show everything here. So this main sewer here Was not inspected, I believe, by the previous company, and that was the main reason we were coming out. So you can see some buildup on the left side of the pipe there. Just a little bit of debris. Didn't look like anything serious still. That buildup on the left and right is not too severe. Actually, not recommending jetting that. It's nothing serious in any way, shape, or form. See, the pipe overall is relatively open. A little bit of heavy buildup right there in the line. Still nothing that at this time I would probably recommend jetting. Jetting is so hard on the pipe, and if it scrapes a lot of the heavy material, really have to drag that through the line. Now the unit is vacant right now, so we don't know how long it's been since lived in, but we're not finding any paper or other debris that's been caught up in there that's not making its way down the system from previous use or any even current use from people stopping by the unit. Now here we have junction with these roots in the line. So you can see right here, got that buildup. Now we have a T-junction right here. You can see vertically coming up. So now we know that there was another clean out that the other camera inspector noted on the main sewer for the other bathroom. I don't think we've passed any T-junctions. So I'm going to push back forward again on here. We'll go through this little spot here. There's a T-junction right there. So there's some roots right there. Pull back, here's our T-junction. So we're going to see if this is a clean out all the way just outside, or if this is off picking up the bathroom for the master bathroom, more likely. We're going to put our camera right here and pause the video to locate this. Okay, so we've gone ahead and located this, and this is actually a buried clean out. So when they build homes in the old days, they would use what we don't allow now, called a two-way clean out. So essentially it was a straight T-junction. It lets you go kind of in either direction. So we've located this. The pipe is 2 feet 2 inches deep. This T-junction you're seeing right here, it's about 5 feet into the front yard before you get to the house, and we've got some pieces marking it in the lawn. We'll pull down and show that later. So as we back up here, again, this whole main sewer is completely fine for this hall bathroom. A little bit of scale and buildup deposits on the bottom and side walls in a few spots, but nothing that requires any type of repair, replacement, and I'm not even recommending hydrojetting at this time. Really not needed. But as we go forward here, now we're already outside of the house though, in the front yard. We have this old clean out T-junction here, and here's where we have roots intruding right at essentially the fitting that's for this assembly here. Now right here, you can see right after that we have a T-junction here to the right. And I believe this is where the other bathroom ties in. So normally a house, everything would tie within the foundation wall, but it's quite possible that this is actually tying outside of the foundation wall, unless this is another weird clean out. So as we push forward here, this is all what was inspected by the previous company. So we're going to back out of the system here to this other T-junction. Back up our camera here. Right here's this other T-junction. So now we're going to go ahead and pause the video, and we're going to go ahead and put another camera down in from the other 3-inch clean out axis that's on the side of the house for the master bath, and see if this is where this one intersects, as well as I know they had showed roots in that part of the main system. Okay, so we've now moved with another camera onto the side of the house here. This is right behind the master bathroom. You can see we have original 3-inch cast iron clean out access point here. This was inspected already. We're going to go ahead and re-show this again. Look at the debris right there, paper debris. Okay, so it looks like we've got some little root debris here in the system. As you can see, this is all infested with roots here. The other camera had showed this already from the other inspection company. Just reconfirming, as well as the T-Junction. So this line is completely, unfortunately, cracking and breaking on this side, and is allowing all those roots to grow in. So just going to keep pushing forward here. I want to confirm that we tie into the front of the house, and there you go. We left our other camera right at the T-Junction, so this one does actually in fact leave all the way on its own separate and ties in the front yard. So we'll go ahead and mark that, but we're going to go ahead and pull back here. We're going to go ahead and pause the video. We're going to go ahead and put a centering guide on our camera to get a little bit of the view above the bottom of the pipe. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and re-show this. We put a little centering guide on the front of the camera, and it gives you a little bit more crystal clear view of everything by lifting off the bottom of the pipe a little bit more. Some buildup right there. Push through that. And this is a 3-inch cast iron line. As we go forward here, here's where we got some buildup on the pipe here of all these roots starting. So very heavy right there as well, and that looks to be a T-junction. Possibly where things are dumping in. Alright, there's a T-junction right there. And that could be for the toilet. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pause the video for a second. Okay, so again, we located this. This does appear to be right below the toilet. Now you again see all the roots lining everywhere on the wall of the pipe. We're going to go ahead and have them flush the toilet, and we'll just confirm this. Go ahead and flush the toilet. There you go. So you can see that was all the toilet water dumping in. So that is in fact the T-junction for the toilet. So that, again, the line as we go forward, there's tons more roots in the system. So this pipe unfortunately is completely shot, and they've got that marked out as well from their previous video. I'm going to pull back here one more time. We want to confirm the rest of this system. So we can see it is really bad as we back up here. Now, that's the beginning of the sewer. Now, as we come backwards, this is only going to be carrying essentially the gray water from the shower stall, but we need to confirm where they junction in and dump into the system. Okay, you can turn on the shower, cold water only. So now we're going to see where this dumps into the system. So as we back up here, this is kind of just the edge from the clean out. But this clean out is all the way essentially kind of behind the lavatory sinks. So we need to see where it's dumping into the system, both of them, to confirm what has to be dug up. So here you can see this is where it's dumping in. Okay, you can shut it off. So we can see there on the upper left of the screen, that is where the shower stall is connected into this part of the system. So you can see they're actually completely growing in from the actual T-junction itself. So that's essentially a 3x2 T, and the whole pipe is completely rotted away there. So that's right here. And then here's the toilet dumping into there just right before it. So they have the T's stacked immediately upon each other. So we're going to back up again and see if this same T right here or farther back slightly on another T is where the sink is dumping in. We're just going to pull our camera back a little bit more. Okay, you can turn the cold water in the sink on. We're going to turn that on for us right now. So now we can hear that water running through, and we'll see if that... Okay, see, that's coming up behind our camera. So actually, this long run here is where the lav, since it is a lot farther away, does dump into the system. So as we back up, this is all carrying that water. So right here's where that lab dumps in, which is essentially the very beginning of the line, because as it comes straight down the wall. As you can see, we're literally right here at the beginning of the clean already. You can shut that water off. So see the water just immediately dumps into the system right there, just a few inches in. So that pipe comes straight down the wall here from the lavatory, and then again, a little bit of buildup, just pushing through here. So this part of the line essentially is okay. Little plastic tab got in the line there somehow, probably from the sink. So this part of the pipe is okay. And then here we start to get all this buildup of roots and other debris here. It's caked up in the line. And here's where the shower dumps in, and then the toilet. So we're going to back up right to here. So essentially we'll see where this is at, but the lavatory does not need any repair, but the shower stall would have to be demoed, as well as the toilet, to replace all the defective line. So we're going to go ahead and pause and just locate this position. Okay, so again, this pipe here that's coming from the lav sink only is in fine shape, does not need any replacement at this time. And this essentially right here is all just in front of the shower stall in that portion of the bathroom. So the shower stall will have to be demoed and replaced to get access to all the trap and the piping underground below the shower stall, unfortunately. And then the toilet would be removed and all that opened up as the line goes out. But as we're approaching here, before we get to the really bad area, you can see all the roots there. This is now again where they're very heavy. We're going to go back through here. Got really heavy roots here. Now we have our centering guide on here and this buildup, so we're not going to be able to push through there with that. But we know that this is all headed across and then going out to the front yard. So this will all need to be dug up and replaced out to the T-Junction in the front. So we're going to go ahead and pull our camera out here, and then we're going to move up to the camera for the front yard to go ahead and show that line as it goes across and make some markings and look at the rest of the system. Okay, so we've gone ahead and moved back to the rooftop, and again, here's the T-Junction where this bathroom, which picks up everything else in the house, goes in. To the right, that's the T-Junction that we just showed with our other camera where they come together. Now they finally one pipe. We've got this marked on the front yard with our own flags denoting the buried clean out with roots as well as that T-Junction. We're now going to continue down the pipe. This was already all inspected by the other camera company. We're just going to push down through here. Again, we have some scale and build up in the line. Here's our turn, making a left turn. Nothing really, though, that is too huge. When the cleanouts go in, it can be jetted to scrape some of this off. I wouldn't be too aggressive with it, but it can be. Oops, a little bit of mound build up there, just trying to push our camera by. And here's our transition that they had showed previously, where the cast iron ends and it goes into green belt PVC, and we have roots intruding. So this type of piece here would be another spot to actually do an actual spot repair, because it's going to continue to get worse over time, and with the buildup, the cleanouts can be put at the end of the line, which makes it faster and easier and more efficient and cheaper for the jetting process to occur to drag that heavier scale and debris out when they do that. So we're going to go ahead and double check the depth and markings that they created on here. So we're going to leave our camera here and go ahead and pause and locate. Okay, so they had a green flag right under this root intrusion and this transition point. We wrote on the flag the depth and put roots down. So it's at 3 feet deep, maybe even just a couple inches under, barely. So we had this marked, and so again, write it here. We got that change and turn, and then here's the property line clean out and access into the rest of the system and the transition across here, eventually to the clay and the reline pipe. So we don't need to go any further with this. There's no other problems with any part of the system beyond here. So we're going to go ahead and pull our camera back. Now what we're going to do is we're not going to pull this camera all the way back out of the system. We have our other camera that came from the kitchen area to go into the other part of the main. And the other camera company couldn't get, or said they couldn't access that. So we're just going to show that the kitchen and laundry cleanouts, of course, were there for availability. You do not have to go up on the rooftop for this other bathroom like we're in right now. So we're just going to pull back our push rod here, and we're going to leave that right there. Now we're going to go ahead and pause and move down to the camera we have still inside from the kitchen line. Okay, so you can see our other camera that's right in front of us here, and again, we are with the camera that we pushed all the way from the kitchen clean out, which the other company did not do for some reason, or the laundry, all the same junction at some point. So that's the camera we have from the rooftop that we just left. We're in the front yard here, and we're basically just beyond the T-Junction to show that we're able to easily get out into the whole main across this other bathroom from this kitchen area. So as we back up here a few feet, we're going to see their T-Junction. So right there on the right hand side of the screen, that is the T-Junction that picks up the master bathroom where they access from, and we just showed previously. So the other push rod, again, that you still see in there is our camera from the rooftop. Now there's some of the roots that we have in the system, and here's that buried original clean out is there as well. And again, we had this marked in the front yard. We'll show this. So they did not capture that, which they could have from this other point, but we've got it marked on the front yard with some flags, so we'll show that. So we're going to go ahead and just continue to pull back on the system here. Our counter is reading at about 18 feet because, again, we've been stopping and moving our monitors back and forth, so the distance reading's obviously completely off here. We also forgot to mention that there was an upstairs bathroom, so the other T-Junction we saw on part of the system earlier, we now know where that was from. It was from the upstairs bathroom. So as we back up here, we're going to be coming to where this other push rod that's laying in there is going to go vertically up. That's coming from our roof vent down from the toilet of the hall bath to access this part of the sewer system. Okay, so there you go. There's that coming from the toilet. So here when we come back and across here, this was picking up the bathtub right there, just vertically above. That's the T-Junction on the top of the screen for the tub. Back up here just a little bit more. Here's our T-Junction. We mentioned we had no water coming in from this one. That's because it's from the upstairs bathroom. We didn't realize there was another one up there as well, vertically above the hall bath. So that's where that other T-Junction is there for. And as we back up right here, this is the only other spot that might have had a couple little tiny roots, but it could just be actually hair or dental floss or something in there. Could be a couple little tiny roots you can see on the bottom somewhat left side of the screen. So this is where the two lavatory sinks dump in for the hall bathroom downstairs. So it's really negligible, does not require any maintenance or repair at this time. Very, very tiny if it is something, but doesn't need anything at this point. So we're going to continue to come back this 2-inch line So this is now just a 2-inch line that collects the bar sink, the laundry, and the kitchen. We're just going to show this again just as evidence of our access into the system. This is all completely wide open. No problems with this pipe whatsoever. A little bit of plastic junk or debris that got flushed down the line there at some point in time. That can always be snaked out if needed. And here's the T-Junction right there, picking up everything. Laundry, there's the bar sink. And now we're coming back out. So we're here outside the kitchen for this house. Now that little plastic debris that we passed in the line there, did not see that at all the very first time. We're going to push back into the system kind of quick here. Never saw that initially, and don't know how that folded up into there. Right at this turn is where it got caught up. So somehow that got flushed down, maybe got ripped up through the disposer somehow. Otherwise, unless the bar sink or the laundry got dumped into the larger pipe and made its way through the trapway somehow. It's just like a little plastic wrapper or something. So again, that might need to be snaked in the future, but nothing too severe. Let me pause the video just to run some water through the camera lens there. Okay, so we've cleaned off our lens just by running a little bit of cold water through there. So you can see right there, it's like a really thin piece of little plastic. I'm not even sure how that made its way down the line. It's right at the turn of the system, so it must have been in there previously, but the way it was laying in the pipe and our camera had passed through, it kind of didn't show it. So you can see the angle right there. It's like a little cellophane wrap or a wrapper from something. So we're going to go ahead and obviously need to recommend that this line does need to be snaked really quick with a little cutting bit or a little retriever spiral piece that can kind of hook that and push it all the way out into the main sewer so it's flushed out into the next bigger pipe. So we'll go ahead and recommend that. Again, not even sure how we didn't see that all the first times passing through the system, but on the way back here it just showed up somehow in the system. Kind of strange. So that must have been hung up at that turn, and from the passing back and forth of our camera multiple times, it kind of finally folded itself and exposed it. See some red writing or something on there. So anyway, everything else is clean on the system. We're going to go ahead and pause and move over to the front yard where we've got our flags and markings. Okay, so we moved our camera over to the front yard just to show all the markings. So right here to the left of the window is the master bathroom. The other plumber already noted the markings there as the line comes across that is all full of roots. Now, here's his original flag that he put in the front yard here, noting where he recommended cleanouts. Now, the thing is that right here is where the T-Junction is. They hadn't marked that, so we've got it marked T at 26 inches deep on the line. And then again, as this heads straight back, there's a third flag, and this is the one where we found the roots and the buried cleanout at 24 inches deep. So these three flags in succession here lead straight back into the house and into there. That is what picks up the hall bath as well as the upstairs, the kitchen, bar, sink, and laundry. So it's really the main run. So it comes straight out and across. We have that little issue there. Here's where the two come together, and then it continues straight out. So the line has some roots here, and we know that the whole line from this T-Junction back into the master is all full of roots. That all needs to be dug up and replaced, unfortunately. The lavatory sink does not need any repair, though, at this time for the master. Just the shower stall, the toilet, and then the main sewer all the way out to this T-Junction. And at the same time, this other root intrusion by the other buried cleanout would be repaired at that same time. Then, as we head out across the front yard, we're going to go ahead and just pause to move our camera over to there. Okay, so this is the other flag the other company had put in, and this is denoting where the cast iron ends and the PVC begins, and there are roots there. So we wrote on their flag, roots, and again it's at 36 inches deep. So this is a repair that needs to be done, And actually, this is where you'd want to go ahead and put the clean outs in, so that if the remaining cast iron, you ever wanted to hydrojet that out, from the end of the line is the best spot for a hydrojetter to scrape the pipe to bring that debris out to the larger and to the city pipe for flowing. So we've got that remarked on his flag. So that concludes the recording for this property.